Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. We still find ourselves, of course, in the international break, but when it comes to Barça, the news never stops. And in today's video, got some really exciting stuff coming up for you. We are going to be talking about the internationals, once again Barça players on the international stage doing so well and some brilliant goals to discuss. But we are also going to be talking transfers with Bryan Gil highlighted and discussed in a lot of detail, along with some Bundesliga strikers, one you'll definitely know of in Erling Haaland, but an alternative too in André Silva. It's all coming up today, so let's get to it. Come on. But if we do indeed start with that international roundup, starting there with Martin Braithwaite, who was in action yesterday for Denmark in their victory over Israel in World Cup qualifying. They won that game by 2-0. Braithwaite playing the full 90 minutes, and it was indeed Martin Braithwaite who got his country off to the perfect start in that game, scoring there after just 13 minutes, and it was a really good goal as well. Some great movement there off the ball from Braithwaite, running in behind as we've seen him do for Barcelona. But the thing that impressed me most was the finish. It was the finish there of a really confident player, a little dink over the goalkeeper, absolutely fantastic touch there. Good to see Braithwaite scoring, and hopefully we can still see some of that in a Barca shirt before the end of the season. But of course, we do indeed have to discuss as well Sergiño Dest, who followed up his absolutely fantastic game just before the international break against Real Sociedad, scoring, of course, 2 goals in that game. But he followed that up on international duty with the United States national team by scoring his first ever goal for his country. What a moment that is. And, you know, scoring your first goal for your country, it's a special moment anyway, even if it's a tap-in. It's a really nice moment. But of course, Sergiño Dest, being Sergiño Dest, did it in some serious style. Just look at the way here that he cuts inside, because he was actually playing as a left back there for his country. He makes a good run up the field, he cuts inside on that right, looking at the goal, and what a hit there to find the top corner from that kind of distance against Jamaica. Wonderful goal from Dest. And this boy truly is. Every single game that he plays, he's improving and he's growing in confidence. And another big Barcelona moment to indeed discuss from this international break, because although Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets did not feature at all in Spain's World Cup qualifying match against Greece, which they surprisingly drew 1-1, one man that did play and one man that made his first ever appearance for his country, it was Pedri, who was brought on there by Luis Enrique for the final 25 minutes of the game, and in doing so became the 6th youngest ever player to play for the Spanish national team. And that was an amazing moment there for us Barcelona fans there to watch Pedri make that big step up, something that would have meant so much to him and of course his family too, and that I'm sure will be the first of many caps to come for his country. He has a great career ahead of him. But like I say, guys, as we do indeed turn our focus now to the transfer side of things when it comes to Barcelona, one man that I also do want to mention, speaking of that Spain game, it is young Bryan Gil. Now, he's a player this season who I've been really impressed with. He's actually been with Eibar on loan from Sevilla, and in La Liga, he has been really breaking out, and that's what rewarded him last night with a first national team appearance too. He actually came on in the same minute as Pedri did, and he became the first Eibar player in history to play for the national team. And I do want to speak in detail here about Bryan Gil, not only because of his really good performance last night. He came on for Spain, he was making things happen, he looked so confident, some of the dribbles that he was undertaking was absolutely fantastic, but also because since LAPORTA has arrived at the club, we've heard plenty of rumours there linking Barca with a move for Bryan Gil, and LAPORTA apparently is a really big fan of his, and particularly a fan of what he's been showing in La Liga this season. Now, if you haven't seen him, Bryan Gil there hasn't long turned 20 years old. He plays most of his football there on the left side, a sort of left winger. He can play as well on the right, but as you can see here, he spends most of the time on the left-hand side. And for Eibar this season, especially they're playing for a team who are battling relegation. They don't have a lot of the ball, they don't score a lot of goals, but Bryan Gil has been absolutely fantastic for them. He's got a lot of the characteristics that you want to see in a young emerging player. He has a lot of good things about his game, the way that he dribbles, the way that he moves with the ball, the decisions that he makes, the control that he has. He almost makes it look at times absolutely effortless. And of course the question now will be, should Barcelona, given the talent there that we are seeing, should they be making a move for him this summer? Well, I think right now what we will say is that a winger is not exactly a priority for Barcelona, and given our financial situation, I don't think it would exactly be the greatest move to go after a position that we don't really need. But at the same time, we shouldn't just ignore the quality that Bryan Gil has. Now, at the moment, he does have a release clause in his contract with Sevilla for 40 million euros, which of course is expensive right now and something the club will simply not be able to pay. But I just want to here bring this to your attention, because I don't think we are going to move for Bryan Gil this summer, and I don't actually think that he's going to go anywhere. I think most likely that he's going to head back to Sevilla, and then I think it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on him, to watch how he develops, because if he can go back to Sevilla there, perform again at that higher level, keep improving season upon season, I think he is a player that would suit Barcelona. Maybe he's not a player that we need to bring in immediately, but certainly further down the line, when we get ourselves back in a good financial position, he is somebody the club are tracking, and I'm absolutely sure that this young man, he's going to go on to do very big things. But of course, speaking of positions that we desperately do need this summer, and speaking of those areas that we will try and make a signing, one of those, of course, is a centre-forward this summer, an out-and-out number 9. Now, of course, we all know about Erling Haaland. Somebody there who does continue to be linked to the club. Rumours coming out in the media right now that Dortmund would be open to a sale this summer, but it would be a massive transfer fee. We're talking there between 150 to 180 million euros. That is an absolutely extortionate amount of money there, but Dortmund, of course, do not want to lose him. But as I have said before, if they don't qualify, which they're not as it stands for the Champions League, it may prove to be a complicated situation for them. And according indeed to the Catalan media right throughout today, Barça still, even with the price tags that are being talked about, even with these very high valuations of the player, LAPORTA still has Haaland in his sights. Now, obviously, we've said before, it's not a guarantee that we can get the deal done. It's not even saying that we're going to get anywhere close to that. But if Haaland is on the move this summer, he still remains the primary target of this board. We know we're going to have to sell players. We know that we will have to raise a significant amount of funds. But as it stands, we are still pursuing Erling Haaland. However, there is another name that I would like to bring you as an alternative, perhaps, to Erling Haaland. Somebody who, coincidentally, has scored exactly the same number of goals and got the same amount of assists this season in the Bundesliga. Because now I want to talk to you about André Silva. Because Bild in Germany there have reported that Barca have shown interest and have shown some significant interest in signing André Silva this summer, which I would describe there as quite an interesting rumour. And there could be a bit more to this. Because André Silva there is a player that we have heard about now at the top level for quite some time. It seems he is only still 25 years old, but we have been hearing his name now for many, many seasons. He was really highly rated there during his time in Portugal with Porto. He was expected to be the next big thing as a centre-forward, but I think what he did was join Milan at the wrong time. It was during their transitional period. It didn't really happen for him there. He went on loan as well to Sevilla, and he showed flashes of that quality, but never on a consistent basis. But I think over the last 2 seasons, you've got to say that if you've seen André Silva playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, that has certainly now come to him. That consistency is definitely now in his game. He's starting to deliver week in, week out, and really playing the best football by far of his career. And there's no question about it. He's had this season a stunning campaign. 21 goals in 24 appearances. Doesn't matter who you play for, doesn't matter what league you're in, that kind of goal scoring return, it is very, very impressive. Those are strong numbers, and that there has actually helped, like I say, take Eintracht above Dortmund for those Champions League places. And I think in particular, when you're looking at those goals from André Silva, he does fit the kind of profile that we are looking for this summer. We are looking for an out-and-out number 9 who can play with his back to goal, who effectively there are just looking to finish those chances, are looking to be clinical in front of goal. I'm really impressed there by André Silva's conversion rate. That is a really, really high rate there of conversion in front of goal. And you'll also notice, look at all the goals there from inside the box. Every single goal that he scored this season has been from inside the area. You've got penalties. He's won some of them himself. He can score with his left, his right, his head as well. He can certainly do it all when he's on it. But again, should Barca make that move? Because I think like anything right now, it all depends really on what kind of deal you'd be able to get and what is going to happen elsewhere. Because let's just put it to you like this. If we couldn't get Haaland this summer, say for instance he's going to stay at Dortmund for one more year, we still need somebody. We still need somebody to come in there and play as that 9 to focus on our immediate goals. So what do? Now reports right now are saying that André Silva could command a transfer fee of around 40 million euros. I think for anything like that, you'd probably say not really too interested in that kind of money. But this is where it gets interesting. Bill go on to say that Jorge Mendes and LAPORTA have a very good relationship. Jorge Mendes is the agent of André Silva, and potentially there, they say, that deal could be made a little bit easier, especially when you consider Jorge Mendes already has a pretty close tie with Barcelona. He's the agent of Ansu Fati. He recently became as well the agent there of Alejandro Balde. And of course, last summer, he helped us get a really good transfer fee when Nelson Semedo was transferred to Wolves. So certainly there, if that relationship between the two of them is a good one, maybe if we're waiting to get Haaland in the summer after, you don't know what could happen in that time. André Silva has enjoyed a great campaign, and we will have to see exactly which route we go down, and most importantly, what's going to be available for us which matches our ambitions this summer. So that right there, guys, is the latest as it stands on transfers. Like I say, LAPORTA still has in his mind Erling Haaland. That is by far our primary goal this summer. Can we make it happen? It is, of course, right now, that dream signing, but it is going to take an awful lot to be able to make that happen. We still hold out hope, and we will have to see what happens. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys, on Bryan Gil. If you've seen him perform, if you watched him last night for Spain, let me know what you think of his performance. And what do you make there if you have seen him this season of André Silva? Let me know all of those thoughts down below. Plenty more to come, guys, and I thank you indeed for your amazing support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.